Hello everyone, just going to show you a really short and fun card game that anybody can play. It's widely advertised on YouTube. It's a game called Golf, really good for numeracy as well, so has many links outside of just playing cards and getting everybody together. What you'll need is a standard 52 a card deck, no jokers needed, so that I've removed those. It will suit more than 2 players. Any number beyond 2 would be fine. I recommend using 4. That seems to be quite a good number that I've used in the past. Essentially, the game relies on the premise of golf in that over 9 holes or 9 rounds, you're aiming to score the lowest score in the group and therefore become the winner. The layout is really straightforward. You'll need the whole pack and deal 4 cards to each player, keeping a central discard pile with the top card turned over. So if I just dealt myself 4 cards, how you want to deal them is totally up to you. The main thing is that you need to put them in this 2x2 format. Importantly, what you need to specify is that the 2 front cards are ones in which you can look at and remember. So for the purposes of this, I'm going to reveal what I've got. The suits aren't important, but the numbers or the face card values are more relevant here. So I've got a 9 and an 8 on the front. I don't know what I've got at the back. The idea is that the game is a numeracy game, but it's also a bit of a memory game as well. So it brings together lots of different skills. The game goes forward, play goes forward 1 by 1. The idea is between my 4 cards, I'm trying to amass the lowest total score, with the scoring as follows. An ace scores 0, a 2 scores -2, so brings my score down by 2. All the face cards, Jack, Queen, King, score 10, and all the other cards have their own value. So ideally, my perfect hand would be to get 4 2s, maybe an ace in there, but definitely something towards the lower end of the scoring there. So the game goes 1 by 1. You take your turn. First of all, importantly, you need to either pick up from the top of the main stack and have a look at that. Be careful not to show anybody else. So for instance, I've picked up this card here. I've picked up a king. I know that that's going to score me 10. So I could swap it with some of the front ones, but I know that I've got a 9 and an 8, so I'm not going to bother. I could take a risk and maybe swap it with one of my rear cards, which remember I don't know what they are, but instead I think I'm going to discard that. The next player goes on. They may well decide to pick up the king if they want to, but a better move would probably be to take from the stack. So they would pick up, they might have decided to swap out an 8 with one of their cards, or maybe they discarded it. Play carries on with however many people you've got. Let's imagine it's come back to my next move. I pick up a card. I've got a 10. It's getting late into the game. I think I might take a risk changing it with one of these cards here. So I've got to remove this one and put my 10 down. At this point, I have to follow through with my move. And that wasn't a very good move because I've just gave myself 5 points there. I've got to put that on the discard pile. The next person along might decide to pick that one up. Let's say we've got a couple more rounds and it's come back to me again. I've got another 10. I think I'm going to discard that one. Game keeps on going round and round. Here's my go again. This time I've got a 6. I can remember that I've got a 9 and an 8 on the front here. So a 6 is going to be good for either of those. If I remember right, I think the 9 was here, which it was. So I'm going to swap that one out. And the game keeps on going. The main thing is that you're keeping a tab of your score between your 4 cards. If you get to a point of thinking that you've got a really low score, maybe you've got a couple of 2s in there or an ace, you can knock on the table and that signifies the last go for all the other players in the game. So everybody else has a last go. You don't have a last go because you knocked and you start at the end of the game. At that point, everybody flips over their 4 cards and adds together their total score. So in this round I haven't done particularly well. I've scored 10, 10, 20, 28. I've got 34, which isn't a brilliant score, and I would then mark that on my scorecard as 34. The idea is then we put all the cards together, reshuffle 4 new cards each, and then it will be a cumulative score from round to round, and the person with the lowest score after 9 goes is the winner, because technically they have shot the lowest round between you. So that's called golf. Really good little card game. You can introduce your own rules if you want to, maybe introduce the jokers, set them as a really good card to have. Maybe set the rule, if you get 4 of a kind, then maybe that completely wipes your score. Totally up to you, but this is the general premise of how the game works. Thanks for watching.